Hey guys, I'm here with the authors of Ghosts of the Queen Mary, Brian Clune and Bob Davis. Hey guys, how are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Can you tell me a little bit about this book, Ghosts of the Queen Mary?
I can tell you a lot about the book if you want. The book deals with the history and the haunts of the Queen Mary. It's not just one-sided as far as being just a paranormal book. We tried to really go into the history because the history of the ship is awesome in and of itself.
Yeah.
And it's the history that basically led to the spirits being on the ship.
Yeah.
So,
Can you tell me a little bit about the history, like in a brief 30 seconds? Here's the history of the Queen Mary.
sure. She was laid down in 1930. They had to stop because of the Depression. She was finally launched in 1936 when the war came out, World War II. She was turned into a troop ship. She still holds a lot of records for how many people she transported. She cut one of her escorts in half, which is one of the reasons why the ship is a little on the haunted side. There were a lot of servicemen that died aboard due to heat stroke and things like that. And then after the war, she had a great career being a luxury liner.
Awesome. And Bob, what was your first experience on the Queen Mary?
My first experience would be, it was down in the boiler room, and not the boiler room, the cargo hold, forward cargo hold, and that's actually the same area that Brian was describing where it cut the other ship in half. So me and a friend of mine, we worked on the ship back in the 80s laying the carpet for the ship. And so on our lunch hour, we went down there and we were just kind of messing around, and all of a sudden we heard what sounded like water rushing in. It sounded like metal tearing actually. Then it sounded like water rushing in, and we look at each other and we're like, what the heck is that? Because we didn't have any idea, it was supposed to really be haunted or anything at that time. So we started going to higher ground, and then as soon as we got up to where we were safely out of the way, it just kind of subsided and stopped. We were just like, wow, that was weird. And so that was what really fueled me to go continue to study her and research her. And we've been researching her ever since. And yeah, it's just a great place to do it.
How did you and Brian know each other from the beginning, or you met each other through your paranormal experiences?
No, we actually met him at a Starbucks. But we were looking for another person, and he can tell you the reason.
My son got me into this. I blame him. I was looking for a way to reconnect with my son, and he said, let's go paranormal investigating, and I looked at him like he was crazy.
Yeah.
I was having so much fun, I stuck with it. He got scared and left.
So, oh, wow. Would you say that's a normal reaction for people when they, interact with paranormal activity? Have you guys done a lot of that on the Queen Mary now?
Probably more than almost anybody, but it's a common. It's about half and half, I guess. Some people freak out and never go back, and then the others are like want to know what that was, and so they keep coming back, and that's our case. It used to be like if something would happen, we would kind of like back off, but now if it happens, we run after it. So it's changed so much.
Is there an experience either of you had that you can really think of that was like quite freaky, like that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, it's on tape. Yeah, it's been on TV. It was with Jackie.
Listen to it later.
Yeah, and you're going to listen to it in a minute. Yeah, it's with Jackie, the little ghost girl. She's like 6 years old, and she supposedly drowned in the swimming pool. Second class swimming pool, but now that the second class pool is no longer there, she's in the first class pool. And so, yeah, Brian and I recorded the longest recording of her talking audibly to anybody that we know of, and she talked for 20 minutes out loud to us, answering questions back and forth, just like we're doing now. And like I said, you can see in a minute, and it's been on TV, and it was a really weird experience because like Brian was still kind of, a skeptic. And after that, he was no longer a skeptic.
After that, you were totally sure that this was a real.
Exactly.